Finally, some big changes coming for Social Security. I'm going to be covering the latest with you. So if you collect Social Security retirement, SSI, SSDI, any of the fixed income benefits from the Social Security Administration, you're going to want to see this video. Take a look at the latest headlines with me. Are you ready for these 4 Social Security changes coming in 2025? You can see this coming out today, December the 1st, 2024. And also 2 changes that Donald Trump wants to make now that he's president to Social Security. Will 2026 be the year that these become reality? You can see this one also, December the 1st, 2024. And also, as you guys know, we saw the House of Representatives pass the Social Security Fairness Act. And we're going to be seeing what that is going to do in the Senate. Social Security reform faces uncertain future in the Senate. That piece of legislation, we are waiting to see if it's going to make it before we have the new Congress. Now, in addition to that, we've heard some members of Congress, like John Larson, say if it doesn't make it, great. Maybe we can pass something that will do more for people on Social Security because the current benefits that are being collected are simply not enough. Let me know if you agree in the comments. Put a 1. If you disagree, put a 2. But he's saying we need across-the-board increases. And we had heard President Joe Biden, when he first became president, say back in 2020, $200 per month increases across the board for all Social Security recipients. That promise was unfulfilled, never came to fruition. Now we're hearing that there is a lot of changes that could be coming with Donald Trump coming into the presidency for Social Security, and there are some that are coming on the way right now in 2025. I am going to get you caught up on the latest so that way you know exactly what is going on, and I'm seeing those ones coming in as people are saying, yes, there is more that is needed for Social Security. And also, as I let you know here on the channel, time is running out. The solvency for Social Security is running dry. We're hearing about 8 to 12 years, depending on inflation, depending on how quickly the funds are going to be depleted. That changes need to come, and soon, because if not, there's going to be cuts across the board if nothing is done to reform Social Security of around 20 to 25%. So if you collect $1,000 per month, you'll suddenly get a check of $800 or $750, and then you'll say, hey, what happened to the rest of my check? And they'll simply say, sorry, we ran out of funds. We're no longer solvent. We can't afford to give 100% of your benefits. So something needs to be done, and soon. And that is why Representative Larson is saying, hey, if the Fairness Act doesn't pass before the end of the year and we have a new Congress, that's fantastic. Let's see if we can pass something else like the 2100 Act or the Expansion Act. I've covered these bills for you in detail, and they're saying let's get something in there that can help out people even more so than what is currently being done. And we're hearing Donald Trump is also saying a little bit of this as well, saying, hey, let's help out those that are on these benefits. And again, this is not a I forget the term again. This is not an entitlement program is what they call it. He said this isn't earned income. This is something people have paid into their entire lives. They paid into this tax while they were working from their income tax. Why are we taxing them again when they're pulling from it? This is not an entitlement program. This is earned income. People need it to be there for them, and they should not be taxed on it. But we're going to be getting into more of that here in just a second. Let's go ahead and get into the latest headlines. And before we do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates, don't forget, hit that like button for me. Just takes a second, helps me out. Spread this across the YouTube platform. Hit subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? I'll keep you up to speed on everything. And all of these articles that I reference, they're going to be cited, linked, hyperlinked in the description so you can click it and go read the articles for yourself, along with additional resources. Some people asking me for various links on things to get prepared in case we have some issues here with some of the conflicts going on around the world. Some people even asking me about my microphone. Where'd you get that? Black Friday deals going on right now, Cyber Monday deals. Links down below if you'd like to go ahead and take advantage of that as well. So thank you so much for all of the support here on the channel, the likes, the subscribes, and additional resources for you down below. Let's go ahead and take a look at these articles so that way you can get the latest on what you can expect for Social Security changes in 2025. And like I said, also some bonus ones, what Donald Trump is proposing and where things are at with the Fairness Act. So this article linked down in the description below. Are you ready for these 4 Social Security changes coming in 2025? These are all important things to keep on your radar. If you're one of the millions of older Americans who are collecting Social Security, then it's important to pay attention to changes that are coming to the program in 2025, 1 month away. But here's a news flash. Even if you're decades away from being eligible for the benefits, it still pays to read up on ways Social Security is changing in the new year. The Social Security Administration commonly announces key changes to the program in October that are set to take place a few months later in January. This gives you an opportunity to adjust your financials, your financial plans as necessary. So this is coming up. This is the last month of 2024. Here's what you can expect in 2025. At this point, that big announcement is almost 2 months old, and January is only a month away. But it's not too late to read up on how Social Security is changing in 2025 and prepare accordingly. Here are 4 big updates that you need to know about. The first is that COLA cost of living adjustment that's going to be happening across the board for Social Security. So if you collect SSI, SSDI, retirement, any of these fixed income benefits, you're going to be getting a 2.5% bump up, a boost to your checks. This is number 1. Social Security benefits are eligible for an automatic cost of living adjustment each year. The purpose of the COLAs is to help seniors on Social Security maintain their buying power as living costs rise over time due to inflation. In 2025, Social Security benefits are getting a 2.5% raise. That should bring the average monthly $1,927 benefit up to $1,976. So that is, again, the average monthly benefit for retirees. You're going to be seeing a slight $50 increase per month, and that is why we heard John Larson say that is not enough. Again, if you agree, drop a 1. He is saying make it $250 on top of that COLA, so that way people can get additional funds to keep up with inflation, because inflation has been outrageous the past couple of years. If you disagree, go ahead and drop a 2. And the argument for disagreeing would be that, hey, if we add that additional cost that seniors would collect, that would deplete the funds faster. Let me know, 1, if you think no, we need a raise, we need to reform Social Security some other way, or 2, if you think no, don't do a raise because that's going to deplete the trust fund faster, and we will have a solvency issue. And I'm seeing those ones coming in, people saying, hey, it's just too difficult to live on a $50 per month increase. However, there's a bit of a catch there. The cost of Medicare Part B is also increasing in the new year, and the standard monthly premium will be about $10 higher. So seniors who are enrolled in Medicare while on Social Security will be left with a smaller increase to their monthly checks, since Part B premiums are paid out of Social Security automatically. So again, it's like they're giving you an increase with one hand and taking it away with the other. Number 2, a higher earnings test limit. Working in retirement is a great way to generate extra income and keep busy. So if you don't need a job for financial reasons, you may want to find one for social reasons, or to have a reason to leave the house. You're allowed to earn money from a job while you're getting Social Security. And once you reach full retirement age, there's no need to worry about how much you're earning. Your paychecks from a job won't have an impact on the amount of money that you get from Social Security at the time you're working. Now, only if you haven't reached full retirement age is when you have to be mindful of Social Security's earnings test limit. Now, these limits dictate how much money you can get paid from a job before some of your benefits are withheld, they're saying. The good news is that the earnings test limits are going up in 2025 from $22,320 to $23,400 from their $1 in Social Security benefits will be withheld for every $2 of earnings. So you can now earn some more money on your own and not have them withhold those benefits from you. If you're reaching full retirement age during 2025, you'll be subject to an earnings test limit until your birthday arrives. But in that case, you'll have a higher limit, $62,160 up to $59,520 in 2024. And from there, $1 in Social Security benefits will be withheld from $3 of earnings. So that earnings limit has changed as well. Now, an increase in Social Security taxes for higher earners. So more funds are going to be pouring into the Social Security program because they are lifting up the bracket of which is taxable to Social Security for those earning incomes. So you'll probably notice that a portion of your paycheck is used to fund Social Security. You'll see it noted as FICA on your pay stub. And you might grumble every time that you see that money deducted from your wages, but without Social Security taxes, the program would not exist. And we're hearing that this program is about to run dry anyways as it is in the next 8 to 12 years. There is not enough money coming in and a whole lot more coming out. Each year, there's a wage cap established that determines how much income is taxed for Social Security purposes. In 2025, the wage cap is rising from $168,600 up to $176,100. That means that higher earners will pay Social Security tax on an extra $7,500. So if that's a category that you fall into, gear up for that tax hit and try to find ways to offset it, such as maxing out contributions on your IRA or your 401k plan to shield more of your income from taxes. So that is increasing. And this is one of the proposals that we had heard from Bernie Sanders, who said if you make up to that amount, and then if you make over $250,000 a year, everything above $250,000 should be taxable as well to help fund Social Security's trust fund to keep it solvent for longer. Now, we'd heard Joe Biden say that he did not want that to happen. That's why he passed on the Social Security Expansion Act and said that he did not want additional taxes on anybody making less than $400,000 a year. So that was the tax, the top, the new bracket that was proposed in the 2100 Act that we had seen released by John Larson. And number 4, a tougher road to qualify for benefits. You might assume that once you reach a certain age that you're going to be eligible for Social Security benefits. Turns out that is not so. Social Security benefits are earned by paying taxes on enough income throughout your career. To get benefits as a senior, you need 40 lifetime work credits, and you can accumulate 4 credits max per year. Pamela Hill, thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that a ton. Social Security benefits are earned by paying taxes on enough income throughout your career to get the benefit as a senior. You need 40 lifetime credits. I think I already read this. In 2025, the value of a work credit is rising from $1,730 to $1,810. This means that if you work very part-time but need your 4 credits to Social Security, you may need to increase your hours or try fighting for better wages. And there you have it. These 4 major updates will change the face of Social Security in 2025 for better or for worse. Prepare now so there are no surprises once the new year begins. So there you have it, you guys. We are hearing that these are some of the big changes that you can anticipate are going to be coming. Now, in addition to that, one of the ones that we are looking out for is changes to taxation. And this is what Donald Trump is currently proposing. This article is also linked down in the description below and also came out today as well. 2 changes that Donald Trump wants to make to Social Security. Will 2026 be the year that they become a reality? In other words, they're saying that he's going to be proposing these as soon as he gets into Congress. We'll see if Congress will go ahead and help push these pieces of legislation through to reform Social Security, and maybe they will be enacted in 2026, or who knows, maybe even sooner. This article says that President-elect Donald Trump has pledged to shake things up in Washington in his second term. Mass deportations, high tariffs on all imports, extended tax cuts, and greater deregulation are just a few of the commitments that he made as a presidential candidate. But how could Trump's policies affect the 54 million Americans who receive Social Security retirement benefits? Here are the 2 main changes that he wants to make to Social Security. Now, here we go. First up, as we mentioned, eliminate federal taxes on Social Security benefits. This is a big one. Let me know if you agree with this. If so, drop a 47 in the comments. As you guys know, we have been hearing this called double taxation. They are saying it's not right. You pay into Social Security your entire life. From your income, it is taxed. And then when you pull from it, you're taxed again. And a lot of people are saying, why have these tax brackets not increased as we have seen COLA increase? The payments increase, but the tax brackets do not. So people are getting taxed, and they're getting taxed harder and harder every year. Donald Trump is saying get rid of it altogether. Don't even worry about the tax brackets. Stop the double taxation. Wow. And I'm seeing 47s pouring in. People are saying, yes, get rid of this altogether. Now, I think the argument is that these taxes, they help provide an additional amount of funds that help keep the program solvent. But I've done the numbers here with you on the channel. I've reviewed the CBO numbers, Congressional Budget Office, for Social Security on that taxation. I can tell you it is a minuscule amount. If I remember correctly, I think it's less than 3%. It is not going to help sustain the solvency for a very long time. In fact, I want to say that reports have been coming out saying, oh, what Trump is proposing is terrible. It would shorten the solvency by another 6 months. And I'm like, 6 months compared to the fact that it's going to expire in 8 to 12 years, it's pretty much nothing. I think that we should get rid of this taxation altogether and give those that rely on these benefits their full amount without any additional taxation. And I'm seeing those 47s pouring in, people saying they agree with Donald Trump on this. And also, if you haven't done so yet and you like the sound of that, hit that like button for me. Help spread this out further. I see we've got almost 1,500 people on with me live. 558 likes. Let's see if we can get half of the room to hit the like button. Now, it says, number one, eliminate the federal taxes on Social Security benefits. Currently, around 40% of people pay federal income tax on their Social Security benefits that they collect. Whether or not recipients are in this group depends on how much money they make. Now, up to 85% of your Social Security, it may be subject to federal income tax based on individuals' combined income or adjusted gross income plus non-taxable interest plus half of their Social Security benefits and federal tax filing types. Trump wants to eliminate these taxes for seniors. He isn't the first politician to propose doing away with federal taxes on Social Security benefits. One of the most recent efforts to do so, the You Earned It, You Keep It Act, was introduced in Congress earlier this year. And again, this is a piece of legislation from 2024. I shared this with you when it had come out. They're saying you earned it, you should keep it. You should not have to pay double taxation on your Social Security. Throughout much of history, the Social Security program benefits weren't taxed at a federal level. That changed back in 1984 when a bipartisan plan to financially strengthen Social Security was implemented. So back in 1984, we had the same solvency issue. Funds were running out, unable to pay 100% of the benefits. So what did they do? They started adding on taxes to those collecting Social Security to help keep it solvent longer. And we saw this again in 1992, if I remember correctly. I think it was with Clinton, where they said, now, instead of just the 50%, we're going to bump it up to 85%, and that helped extend the solvency even further. Number two, bolster Social Security's finances through more oil and gas drilling. So drill, baby, drill. Trump is saying, let's go ahead and get those natural resources to help provide additional finances. During the race of the Republican presidential nomination, Trump criticized Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis' proposal to increase the full retirement age to maintain Social Security program solvency. We heard Trump say, do not cut Social Security. And this is actually one of the areas we had heard Bernie Sanders say he agrees 100% with Trump. We had heard them say increase the full retirement age, and a lot of people said, no, if you do that, you are indirectly cutting the benefits of those who would collect the full retirement age by increasing it by a couple of years. This is an indirect cut to the benefits, and Donald Trump said, no, do not raise the full retirement age. And he criticized Ron DeSantis for this proposal and said, keep it the way it is. We're going to figure out a different way to keep things funded and solvent. Do not raise that. Do not cut benefits in any way. Trump told Fox News host Sean Hannity in a town hall, you don't have to touch Social Security. In other words, we're not going to cut this program. A lot of people call it an entitlement program, but they're saying do not cut this benefit that people have earned and paid into their entire lives. Instead, Trump has suggested that the U.S. has liquid gold, oil, and gas that could be used to bolster the program's finances. He said the country could also pay down its national debt, by increased oil and gas drilling. So Trump is saying, drill, baby, drill. Let's use the liquid gold, the oil underneath our feet, so that way we can go ahead and get this economy thriving and help provide additional solvency for Social Security. Now, let's take a look at this. This is interesting. It says, will these changes happen in 2026? It's unrealistic to expect major changes for Social Security in Trump's first year back in office. This particular article is saying, let me know if you agree or disagree. Do you agree with them? Yes, if you agree that it is unlikely that anything is going to change with Social Security, or think no, put a no if you disagree and you think, no, you know what? Trump's going to get in here and he might shake things up. He's going to be innovative and maybe we'll see something finally pass for Social Security. But could that happen in 2026? That could be a stretch too. The main challenge with eliminating federal income tax for Social Security benefits is that doing so would cause the program's trust fund to run out of money earlier than projected. Now, again, this is what skeptics, those that are critical of this proposal, are saying. But again, from what I've read, it doesn't look like it makes a huge impact. So I'm kind of the opinion, get rid of the double taxation. Let those collecting these benefits get their full benefits, because it's not even like it's going to fund it for very long. Trump would be highly unlikely to secure the 60 Senate votes needed to bypass an almost a certain filibuster. So again, even though the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency, in the Senate, they do not have 60 seats. If I remember correctly, I think they have 53 that they secured in the elections. So that means they would need to get 7 Democrats in the Senate on board to help them pass the legislation, or they could use the process of reconciliation as another possibility if they wanted to push this through. So keep that in mind as well. They could use that reconciliation process. Now, legally, they say that you can only use the reconciliation process, I think, once a year, if I remember correctly. But we've actually heard that when Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer at the time was in office, they had passed a reconciliation bill, and they said if it's for certain purposes, there could be 2, even maybe as up to many as 3. They were saying when they were really getting into the details of the legalese of the process. But we will see. I will keep you up to date. Now, could the GOP attach language to eliminate federal tax and Social Security benefits in a budget bill that can't be filibustered? No. The Byrd Rule prevents changing Social Security through budget reconciliation process. So a budget bill reconciliation process, they are saying no. So they might not be able to do that either. Maybe Republicans in the Senate could decide to scrap the filibuster altogether. However, this also seems unlikely, considering that the incoming Senate Majority Leader, John Thune, and other GOP senators have committed to leaving the filibuster in place if it means parts of Trump's agenda won't be passed. Trump probably could incrementally boost U.S. oil and gas drilling, perhaps even before 2026. For example, he could make more federal land available for drilling and eliminate some regulatory barriers for the industry. But domestic production is already at an all-time high. The industry could reduce production on its own if prices fall too much due to oversupply. More importantly, though, increased drilling might not help Social Security very much. The Nonpartisan Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget analyzed Trump's idea and found that using current oil and gas leasing revenue to fund Social Security would address less than 4% of its projected shortfall. It also determined that Social Security's financial issues wouldn't be solved even if all federal land was made available for drilling. Presidents don't always get what they want. Because of the political and economic realities, it seems like that Trump won't get what he wants with Social Security by 2026, and perhaps not by the time of his second term ending in January of 2029. Wow. Let me know your thoughts. This article kind of saying that they don't think that much is going to change. And again, let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments. If you agree with them that you don't think that Trump's going to be able to accomplish very much, put a yes. If you think no, he's going to be able to do it, put a no in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on Social Security. And in addition to that, as I mentioned, we're going to be keeping an eye on Social Security reform in the Senate right now, as we have finally seen a piece of legislation passed in the House of Representatives, the Social Security Fairness Act. But we're hearing that we are uncertain of its fate in the Senate. And we're going to see if they get this through before the current Congress ends. And some are saying, let it fail, because if it does, maybe we'll bring up another piece of legislation that will help out Social Security even more so. Now, a House-passed bill to reform aspects of Social Security is lingering in the Senate as questions bubble over its path forward. The House approved the bill, which would do away with the rules backers say have led to unfair reductions in benefits for some who have worked in public service by a wide margin earlier this month. But some are concerned about the measure's chances in the Senate as lawmakers face a ticking clock before the new Congress is ushered in. There's been some talks about trying to make it part of an end-of-the-year negotiation. I think that's really an effort to kill it, said the outgoing Representative Garrett Graves, who co-authored the bill, as he said before Congress left town for Thanksgiving recess. So they're saying they think they are trying to end this bill, put an end to it in the Senate. So we will see. Graves expressed confidence that the bill, which passed with nearly 300 votes in the House, has the support of the Senate to pass a standalone bill. But he added that anything else is really putting us on a slow path towards death, and I think it's intentional. So he thinks they are trying to sabotage this bill. If passed, the bill, known as the Social Security Fairness Act, would repeal the windfall elimination provision, or the WEP, and the governmental pension offset, or the GPO. Experts say the tax rules are aimed at preventing people who have worked much of their careers in public service from collecting both their pensions and relatively higher Social Security payouts. The GPO also leads to reductions in benefits for the spouses that receive government pensions. But cases where the policies have led to over or under corrections, or beneficiaries have helped fuel calls for reform or a complete overhaul of the measures. Graves, along with other representatives, penned a letter in the Senate to the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and to the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell last week, urging swift floor consideration for the legislation. For the first time in history, you have the opportunity to bring this bill across the finish line, they wrote. We urge you on behalf of nearly 2.5 million retirees impacted by the WEP and the GPO in every state across the nation to bring the Social Security Fairness Act before the U.S. Senate for a vote. The Hill has reached out to the office of Schumer and McConnell for comments. The letters came on the heels of the measure's passage of the House, but it didn't happen without a bit of drama. Gary Shreve, thank you for the $10 super chat. Social Security should be top priority. In saying that, after that, it fixed work on other tax plans for tips and overtime. Our elders need to be taken care of first. Yes, I agree. I mean, I think that, let me know your thoughts. I think they should lock them in a room and tell them don't come out until you fix Social Security. Let me know if you agree. If you agree in the comments, drop a 3. If you disagree, put a 4. But I think Social Security, they need to just force them to get this addressed. We need something because we are running out of time on this. Now, reading on, it says, despite the bill's broad bipartisan support, some Republicans took issue with the strategy deployed by backers to push the bill through the lower chamber. The maneuver, also known as the discharge petition, allows members to bypass leadership to force consideration of legislation. While it's not uncommon for members of the minority party to attempt to discharge petitions, it's rarely successful, as the 218 signature threshold requires members of the majority party to buck their own leaders. So we will see, you guys. It is uncertain the fate of this bill and what's going to be happening with the Social Security Fairness Act. But like I said, I will keep you up to date. And in addition to that, a lot of people saying, hey, it doesn't really matter because if it doesn't pass, maybe there'll be something even better that can come about, like the Social Security Expansion Act or the 2100 Act, or some of the things that will actually provide additional benefits across the board for all those collecting Social Security. But like I said, I will keep you up to date here on the channel. And also, in addition to that, I just shared with you 4 things that are going to be big changes coming in 2025, and also two things that Trump is hoping to do, and a lot of people on board with it, and that is eliminating double taxation on Social Security benefits. So like I said, though, I will keep you guys up to date here on the channel so you know exactly what to expect and what is going on. But that is the latest, you guys. Excuse me. I need to get something to drink. But I hope that you guys have a blessed evening. I will keep you up to speed on everything. These articles are going to be linked down in the description below. And again, if you appreciate the updates, don't forget to take a quick second, hit that like button for me, subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? And I'll keep you up to speed on everything going on. But that is the latest, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.